Good morning. My name is Paolo Budroni. I'm based in Vienna, and I thank you very much for this invitation. I'm very honored to be in this place here, so thank you very much. What I would like to do this morning is to highlight some moments of this very dynamic process, which is called EOSC building process, and then highlight at the end of my speech a possibility, an opportunity to participate in this process by participating into the so-called co-creation process. So the EOSC is not a cloud made in Brussels. It's not even a cloud. It's called European Open Science Cloud, but it's not a cloud. And it's not even European, because open science is something which is worldwide. So what is it? We should not forget that the European Open Science Cloud, as a name, was decided by the Council. It was not decided by the Commission. And the Council, it is the member states. So your member state, which Slovenia, has also decided to build this cloud. It means also that concerning one of the most relevant points in this process, so the financing, this is something which will happen through the member states. The Council then decided to ask the Commission to implement this cloud. So that's why then the Commission started to work. But it's not made in Brussels. And the EOSC, it was presented to be built and be developed along 6 lines of action. So I'm representing them here. There are a lot of papers and slides showing these figures, these pictures, these graphs. I would like to stress the fact that these 6 lines of action are running through architecture, through data, through services, to access and interface, through rules and governance. And these last 2 rules and governance, they are now in the focus of all efforts done at the moment. So what we are building now in this very dynamic process is the new governance of the upcoming European Open Science Cloud. And architecture, data, and services and access will then follow. So on deciding on how this should be built, the first focus is on the governance. So again, the EOSC is not a new dedicated infrastructure or software package. This is not. It's a process. And it should give us a push towards something like a Schengen space for data and services, for example, just to make an example. And this all following the rules of FAIR. As we have heard it now by our colleague in Finland and by Tiberius, FAIR is one of the most important things. And based on that, we can ensure the interoperability of our data and our metadata and our applications with the rest of the world. So it's a global thing. So like GoFair, for example, it was cited now. GoFair is acting globally. The GoFair International Foundation in Leiden, they are working globally. They have branches in Brazil, in India, in China, because of FAIR, because of South Africa, because FAIR is global. So, and this European Open Science Cloud is based on this FAIR data and FAIR services. Also, the services should be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And these efforts are particularly directed on data culture, research data services, federated architecture, and co-funding. So co-funding is the last part of my speech. I would like to mention this article that was published in July, not only because I'm one of the authors, but because there we tried to define and give definitions to some terms that are usually, that are used in order to explain the EOSC. You find the link to this article on the PowerPoint presentation, but there are a lot of words used, and we try to define the term, and we offered the term also through this article. Now, how does it work at the moment? At the moment, we have the EOSC Governing Board, which is a board composed by the member states, their representatives, so your country has also one representative there, and the European Commission. It's a strategic board. Then there is the executive board, which is operational. The operations takes place there. And it's accompanied by 5 working groups. These working groups are architecture, fair, rules of participation, landscape analysis, and sustainability, which are reflecting the 6 lines of actions I presented in the first slide. And the executive board asks the stakeholders, how do you want that the EOSC should be shaped? And you are the stakeholders. Me, I'm one of the stakeholders. And we should give answers, we should give input, and we should use this opportunity. And how, I will show you. And there is a stakeholders forum, there are some coordination structures, projects, and then working groups. And since the beginning of this year, there is also a project, an Horizon 2020 project for 2.5 years, started in January. It's the Secretariat. The EOSC Secretariat is composed by 11 institutions. One of these institutions is the Technical University of Vienna. That's one of the reasons because I'm here. I'm part of this Secretariat. And our role, for example, in Vienna is to pursue stakeholders-driven engagement. Not stakeholders engagement, but stakeholder-driven engagement. So we ask the stakeholders, how do you want the EOSC to be shaped? And our task is to address researchers. So there are some other working groups addressing other stakeholders, like industry, like the big infrastructures, and so on. The projects supporting the EOSC building are a lot. So around 50 projects are now working on the building of the EOSC. So some of them here, so the EOSC pilot project, the Freya project, OCRE, Open Air, Research Data Alliance, and Infra Central, the Secretariat, EOSC Hub, and so on and so on. The Secretariat is conceived in order to deliver 360 degrees support to the institutions and units working on the EOSC governance. So we have 4 focuses there. The co-creation funding opportunities, the liaison platform for open consultation, the stakeholder forum, which is organized by the Secretariat, and then the operational framework. These are the partners spread over through the whole of Europe. And we are all interconnected, so we are always reporting to the EOSC executive board, as well as to the projects, as well as to the stakeholders. And I would like to explain now with just one slide why it is important to be part of this. So, Technical University of Vienna, for example, decided through 3 organizational units, which are the Faculty of Informatics, the Center for Research Data Management, and the library, I'm based at the library, to participate to these efforts. And this is an invitation to you to do the same, to gather together, focus, gather your competencies, and then participate. Why is our library engaged in a relevant EOSC building process? Well, first of all, because our university, we say we are a university that offers technology for people. And the library is a knowledge hub, as your library is. And we want to show this. And we want also to show that we are an incubator for innovative ideas, and we engage on activities which are innovative. And therefore, we actively support the user-centric EOSC implementation. We started to contact so-called ambassadors, which are representatives of some disciplines, of their communities. We ask them to ask their communities. We started in organizing events. The next one is in January. It will be a 4-day event in Austria. With, for example, ERC grants receivers, so young researchers. We want to address the young researchers in this event. And life science, this is the second event. Then we ask for input from researchers to the EOSC. We do this, for example, through the universities' networks. So in January and in February, we will organize 4 events. And the representatives of the LERU universities, so Paul Iris and Ignasi, for example, Ignasi La Bastida, are the representatives of their universities. We are addressing them, we ask them, but also representatives of the Guild of the European Intensive Research Universities, the representatives of the CSERs, which are the technical universities, the representatives of Coimbra and the European University Association, as well as Science Europe, which are the funders. So we are contacting them, organizing workshops, asking the representatives, how do you want that the EOSC should be shaped? And this information is then gathered and filtered and sent to the executive board and to the working groups. The message we send is clear. How do we conceive the EOSC? This is our vision, the vision of Technical University of Vienna. We see the EOSC as a free point of use, free point of use. Open and seamless services for storage should be offered there. And in our vision, it should be like EduRoam, just to make an example. So when you are abroad, or you are at home, when you are in America, when you are in Africa, or in Asia, or you are here, you just connect to EduRoam, and then you are part. You can, not you are part, you are part, and you can get into the broad range of services offered by EduRoam, because it is well known, it's ubiquitous, it's transparent, it's a free point of use, it's extremely useful, it has rules of participation, has system architecture including security, it provides a specific microservice, it deals with your data as a user in a secure way, and it has a governance. So this is the EOSC. And then inside of the EOSC, there are a lot of services, fair data, and so on and so on. So our timeline is we launched the Ambassadors Program, we started the events, and we prepared also videos with the testimonials. This all is launched now in January. I would like to show you now what is happening in some other theaters. Highlighting 5 projects to whom we have a close relationship. And we also have a representative of one of these projects here in the room. This is our colleague from Slovenia, and you are in the project which is on the right side. You see in the blue color, which is this area. And you see it comes up to Armenia. And the yellow part of this map is showing some countries. And what's missing here is Brazil. So we are also collecting data about Brazil, the associated countries. Myself, I'm involved in the purple color, which is EOSC pillar. What do we do in these projects? We collect data through surveys, through qualified questionnaires, which are shared among the countries, and we are supposed to deliver the results by the end of February to the EOSC governing board and to the executive board by mixing up the results of the events I was talking about just a few minutes ago. About the co-creation process, just a few slides. I invite you to participate to the co-creation process. I brought some leaflet. What is it? It's the possibility for you and your colleagues to participate, apply for money in the case you have the idea, the winning idea, on how this EOSC could be shaped. It could be events, for example, could be studies, analysis. You can apply for a maximum of 45,000 euros. How it works is described in this, if you follow this link or this. It's very, very simple. I can say it's very simple. We have, the proposal procedure is just 4 to 5 weeks. So if you gather resources together, you have the idea, you take part, you can then start. It could be, for example, an event like this one in your country or in other countries, or an analysis or a study, whatever. And the stakeholders you can address are researchers, research support, national digital infrastructures, national funding projects, research, academia, organization, policy makers at your institutions. I invite you to liaise with the liaison platform. I skipped the slides because they are just an explanation on how you can participate. And you see, I just used this slide focusing on this event because this is an example of something that could be also financed through this initiative. Register for the stakeholder forum, which will take place in just a few days in November. And I thank you very much for your attention. Thanks.